Good day, YouTube. I'm your brother Reza. This is KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y, and this is 5 and 5. And we've traveled all the way to New York City to continue our journey to figure out which G Wagon is the best G Wagon. You know, a wise man once said, nothing is better than a G Wagon besides another G Wagon. We're gonna test it and we're gonna find out it's true. And we're in New York City, and this is where I was born, and I'm happy today, even though I'm sick. Yay! So here we are in New York City, the natural home for the modern G Wagon. Let's see if we can find one. Alright, so this is a 2013 G550. We're in New York City, right here in the heart of Manhattan. Let's see how this truck does in its natural home. So, what is it like to drive the 2013 G550 through the heart of New York City? Well, it's a big truck for a city like this, but I mean, any car is a big truck for a city. Well, any truck is a big car for a city like this. To make the G550 more drivable, the main things that changed was the engine and transmission. The 6-speed transmission gives the car a lot more range, and there's a 5.5 liter turbo motor instead of the old motor that gives this vehicle way more go, and it makes it lighter in traffic and more maneuverable, and you can definitely feel the difference versus the older G-Wagons. The steering, on the other hand, is way better. On mine, to steer it, I mean, you really need to be in the gym 7 days a week trying to get your Arnold Schwarzenegger on just to make a left turn. New York City is famous for its ultra smooth plush roads, and the G-Wagon is definitely ready to handle it. The suspension on these newer G-Wagons is a little bit softer than the older ones and a bit more forgiving. So it absorbs more of the bumps and absorbs more of the road vibration than you get in the older G-Wagons, and it just gives you a very nice, relaxing ride. The engine noise and exhaust on these G-Wagons is a step up from the old ones. I think they deleted one of the mufflers that the old ones had. Like, my G500 actually had 3 mufflers, believe it or not. Versus these newer ones, I think they have a direct muffler setup that goes into 2 pipes and then down the sides. It's a massive advantage over the old setup. Even though the old one was a little bit quieter, this one has a better engine sound, even though it is a turbo. The overall feel of the cabin in these newer G-Wagons, it just makes you feel a bit more exclusive. You almost feel like you're royalty when you're riding in these newer ones. In the old ones, you kind of feel like, yeah, I'm doing my thing, but I can still see the mountaintop and I haven't reached it yet. So the road finally opened up a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little see what it does. See how I can move through this traffic. Oh man, this turbo is nice. Dang. Okay, so I was just driving a G63 last night, and that is, obviously that's really fast. I'm in a 550 now, and I mean, it's not a slacker. Like, this G550 really gets up. This turbo has really done its job. There's a little bit of turbo lag, but it's not anything that you would get really like mad or pissed off about, like, oh, this G-Wagon is too slow. No, this G-Wagon is definitely a lot faster than the older G-Wagons. We were just talking off camera about the different types of G-Wagons you can get and the different years and all that kind of stuff. So a friend of ours was thinking about getting a G55, which is an amazing G-Wagon, but they have the older interior in them. What year did they put the newer interiors in these?
2009.
So 2009 was the first year that you could get the newer upgraded interior. The upgraded interior, I mean,
as far as the seats and stuff, that's
like this right here, like the way
this right here. No, it starts in 2013.
And that's the one thing that I love about G-Wagons. The evolution of the G-Wagon is slow and methodical, but it's slow and methodical for a reason. Mercedes wants to troubleshoot every part that they put in a G-Wagon before they put it in a G-Wagon, because the G-Wagon is a pièce de résistance. Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
So when you get a G-Wagon, you're getting a quality vehicle that Mercedes has really put a lot of research and development to, and a lot of time making sure that they put the best pieces that Mercedes has to offer into the vehicle. So we always say that nothing's better than a G-Wagon except for another G-Wagon.
That's right.
What would you get next after this G550?
A 63.
63?
Yeah.
Which one? Which year?
Probably the same year. I wouldn't have to go because You know, they're changing the bodies for 2019. Kind of like this body better. I mean, I really haven't been up close on the new ones, the 19s. Haven't seen it yet. But I'm kind of stuck on these.
You know, I seen the new one, and I wasn't impressed, man. I feel like the front end looks goofy. I like the way that the tail lights look on the old one.
Yeah.
But I feel like the front end is just goofy. They made it too round, and it's like, I feel like what made the G Wagon stand out so far above all was the edginess of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like they making it like too soft looking now.
Yeah.
And nobody wants, like, people get a G Wagon because it's squarey. You don't get it because it looks round. If you wanted a round joint, you would get the what do they call it? The GL or something. Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
From a G Wagon owner to a G Wagon owner,
right.
What are your thoughts on the 4x4 squared and the 6x6?
I really don't like them.
Really? Like not at all?
I think it's just too much. Like I said, this look right here, this solid look right here, I just got so used to this. Once it got higher and the wheels, for some reason I felt like once they sat up higher, the wheel should have got actually bigger, but they really didn't so much. So
yeah,
they should have put like some monster wheels on them things, man. They should have
yeah, that would have been crazy.
That would have been good.
But you know, my problem with the 4x4 squared and the 6x6 is, I feel like they took the G Wagon so far extreme, you can't even use it anymore.
Right.
You can't, like a 4x4. Like, think about it. How hard is it to park a regular G Wagon in a parking deck?
Exactly.
Like, imagine a 4x4 squared.
Where am I taking that?
Exactly.
I live in New York. I have no use for that here.
Exactly, and that, I can't. I have a slight disdain for vehicles that aren't practical.
Right.
It's like they look cool on paper and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, you can't use it. You can't even use a 4x4 squared in Atlanta. Like, where you gonna go?
There's nowhere to take it. I was in Miami not too long ago, and I saw one. I was like, man, it looks okay, but like I can't really do too much with it. Where am I taking this thing? I can only go like, I can't really go nowhere with it.
So imagine 6x6.
That's too much, man. That's too much.
Now what about the Brabus joints and like the Rentec?
I like those. Some of the body kits are too much. Some people do too much on the kits with those, I think, but I like them. Yeah. Especially what's under the hood, man. What they got to offer in that hood is crazy, man.
And at least you can use them.
Yeah.
You can drive into a parking deck. You know, you can only have to worry a little bit about ripping your hood off. So have you hit your hood on anything yet?
No, not yet.
Man,
I'm scared because I actually went to certain places and I look and I jump out the truck and it look like I can make it, but I'm like, nah, and I just back right up and go find some parking somewhere else, man. I'm not taking any chances. I'm not doing it.
That's number one rule of G Wagon ownership. You have to be careful of where you park your vehicle because you can't tear your roof off if you don't pay attention.
Nah, you don't want that to happen, man.
That's not a good look.
Yes, especially these cars. That's a bad look.
I think this G550 handles the city pretty well. Let's see how it does on the highway in New York. Alright, so we finally got out of that crazy, notorious New York traffic. We're on the, whatever we're on. What is
West Side Highway.
We're on the West Side Highway and we're about to see what this is like. Man, that's very smooth power delivery. So I gave a little bit of throttle, and I mean it's just smooth. Like it's smooth, it picks up quick. I mean it's not. My G Wagon feels heavy. This G Wagon feels like a ballerina. Mine is like a rhinoceros compared to this. Like it's amazing, and it's so much smoother. Like I'm like legit like impressed. Like. It's way smoother than my truck. And I don't know if your tires are balanced better than mine or something like that. Look, there's another one. Now, I don't know if your tires are better or that's just the suspension upgrades that made it that much smoother.
I think it is. I think because I actually need new tires on this. So.
Yeah, it has to be suspension upgrades. Like the softer suspension, I don't really like it through the turns, but overall, when you're driving at speed, it's a way smoother ride. And I mean, just the passing. The ability to pass in this one is way better than mine. Like mine, you gotta really dig your foot into the carpet to get it to go. This, you just kind of tap it a little bit and it just goes. And we're going 50 miles per hour right now, and the car is driving wonderfully. It's beautiful. All right, so we're cruising a little slow. I just want to give it a little on this off ramp. So we're going about like 30 right now. Man, that turbo kicks in and it's just like, woo! Dang. My G Wagon feels like an ancient dinosaur.
Yeah, this thing just goes.
This thing goes. And you got shifters. I ain't even, oh man.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything special to make the shift.
Nah, same shit.
You got no SRT button?
I've been riding around all evening through Manhattan and Harlem with this G550 with my bro, and I realized a few things. This particular vehicle was a massive leap forward for the G Wagon. Like, it's night and day this versus the one that I have. The suspension is like so much more supple. The steering is so much easier, which fatigues you less. The actual acoustics of the vehicle, this one is a lot quieter than mine inside the actual cabin, which, you know, it gives you a more relaxed, rejuvenating ride. And I mean, just driving this one around such a busy city as New York, and I mean right here in the central part of Manhattan, easily, it's just been a very pleasant ride, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this vehicle all day today. To recap, we're going to start off with pedigree, and I mean, this goes without saying, we already covered this in episode 1. We know that the G Wagon has pedigree. There's no reason to even talk about that anymore. Reliability, we already know this has reliability, so that's 2 points to go. Drivability, this vehicle soars above and beyond the G500s when it comes to drivability. It has more torque, it has more horsepower, it has more comfort, it has more of everything. It's just more G Wagon. So that is amazing. So that's drivability. Cost, it also costs more, surprisingly, surprise, surprise. And not only does it cost a little bit more, it costs substantially more than a G500. So probably gotta give it half a point for cost. And curb appeal. Does a 2013 G550 have curb appeal? I mean,
That's a rhetorical question.
exactly. We've been riding around like the kings of New York all day. I gotta give a massive shout out to my boy Sean. I gotta give a massive shout out to my girl Kat for coming along on these crazy journeys. And right now we're on the Brooklyn Bridge. Everything is beautiful. Life is grand. This is KRT LYFE. KRT LYFE with the Y. This is 5 and 5. Like, subscribe, comment, chat. This is the G550 2013 model. It gets 4.5 points. Till next time, peace.